What's up? I think most YouTubers are usually organized when they come on live, but I still haven't tuned my guitar. Annoyingly, I changed the strings earlier, the other day, and I was just practicing earlier and snapped the top E and didn't have a spare one. Luckily it kind of snapped down here and I managed to repair it, but it just throws everything out of tune. How exciting watching me tune a guitar. So I have, I've come online because I've just done one video this week, and I didn't really, because I've had such a busy week, I didn't really have time to upload another video. So I thought I'd come online for half an hour and maybe show you guys something. So what's up, Luke? How's it going? Who else have we got here? It's getting there. The funny thing about when you first put fresh strings on, they take a couple of passes before it comes sweet in tune, you know? So because of where I'm sat in the room, it might sound a bit reverby. Sorry about that, guys. How's the sound anyway? Someone let me know what the sound's like. So is the G string. You guys ever notice that? So, what can I show you guys? The thing is, whenever I put myself on the spot, my mind goes like completely blank. Haha, when am I going to do part 2 of Diablo Rojo? Well, I can show you the chords right now, okay? Because in the video, I did it a while back, see if I can remember it. So it's something like that, right? So part 2, I guess, was going to be the chords. I don't know if I covered it in the other lesson. Obviously, it's on the acoustic. Let me just clean this up a bit. So it's that classic kind of flamenco thing, yeah? So yeah, I'm holding the pick as well, so hopefully you can see that. I'm kind of just... So anyway, the chords, A minor, alright? I'm doing a bar chord, so it's a bit more difficult, okay? But if you watch the video, that's what she does. Then she does a C major, then D minor, E7. So you could simplify them, right? So you could go A minor down here. What did I say? C major, D minor, E7. Doesn't really have the flamenco sound on this guitar, right, guys? I know. But you get the idea. Okay, and so on. But to get that true sound, use the bar chords. Now to get that kind of rhythm, down, up, down, up. Change chord, down, up, down, up. And then at the end I kind of up, down. Alright? So just have a mess around with that. I mean, it's kind of advanced using the bar chord, so depending on how far you are into learning the guitar. But like I said, you just do the other chords otherwise, okay? So let me have a look. I have to lean forward here and click to see who's asking me some questions. So, Justin, why have you disappeared now? So I can't... What type of pick am I using? I just experimented with Jazz 3 pick and now I can't stop using it, but I can't find the right pick for strumming. Well, funny you should say that. Check this out. Can you see that? I'm trying to get it in the light. It's a Jazz 3 pick. How weird is that? I only ever use these hard picks when I need fast attack on the guitar, you know. You probably can't hear that now. So it gives me, because it's a nice hard pick, it gives me really fast attack, okay? However, for strumming, you have to be... Put the guitar out of tune again, this thing's hopeless. Let me have a look, 1 second. This is like dead air now, because here you go, straight away I'll find it. Now, this is the one I normally use. So this is a nylon Dunlop, and it is a 1mm. Now, ever heard of the band Meshuggah? They're like the heaviest band on the planet. That's what the guitarist dude uses. Because I follow like Jim Dunlop on Instagram or whatever, and they're always putting people up. And this is the pick that he uses. Now the beauty about these picks, look, they flex and they don't break, okay? Let's put some... This isn't the type of guitar to be playing metal on. Let me see if I've got a metal set in here. No, that's not metal. So that kind of stuff, that's got a little bit of give in it, right? So that's going to sound really cool if you're trying to achieve that, and especially on the acoustic, if you want that kind of... So what are you saying, dude? So it feels weird strumming. I've tried the XLs too, but the smaller ones are better. Yeah, actually the smaller ones are better because a lot of people put too much emphasis on holding the pick and well, the whole reason I use these, I mean, this one's worn down. I'm back onto the Jazz 3 now. This is supposed to be sharp and pointy, but I've worn it down and I just can't be bothered taking the other ones out. And so what that allows to happen is you just get more attack on the string without any drag behind it. So you can get on and off the string for as quick as possible. However, with a nylon, it's blunter. Okay, so you get a little bit more drag on the strings, which is why it's better for rhythm. Okay, so it's very much horses for courses, guys. It's like whatever works for you. Okay, so that's picks, and experiment with different picks. You know, when I was a kid, I used to use a metal pick. I found a metal pick. I thought they looked really cool. I didn't really know much about picks and sound back then. And I used to like wear it around a necklace or whatever, you know, whatever. And it chewed my strings to pieces, and it had a really harsh sound to it. Some people like that kind of stuff, but these are things you have to experiment with and try, okay? Some of them got little grips on and stuff, but, you know, like I said, it's very much what's good for you, so just keep on trying. Yeah, the celluloid one slips. I found that a lot when I was learning, actually, that everyone tends to grip quite hard when they're learning with the pick, and the fingers get really sweaty, and it moves around and it slips, which is why some of the ones with grips on are really cool, like the Tortex grips ones. Hey, what's up, Mexico? Okay, Nabs, I think that's only for Nabs. What's up, dude? Yeah, I mean, by all means, try the ones with grips out. I've got another one. I'm going to have to go off air again because I just spotted it. This is one I picked up now and again when I'm in the music shop, because I still go to music shops. It's very important to support your local music stores, guys. So I picked this up. I don't even know what make this is. Okay. But it's got, you see, it's got like circles cut into it, and that kind of acts as a bit of a grip. And this is a really big pick. I probably use this on my bass. Sometimes, you know, most people play with fingers on a bass guitar. I play with picks because I'm not much of a bass player, you know. All my recordings, you hear, it's all me on the bass, but most of it's played with a pick, so it's not ideal. Yeah, so just experiment. Different things. As you become better at holding on to a pick, your fingers will become less sweaty because you won't be gripping as tight, and they move around, but you kind of get used to that. So, for example, if I'm wanting to play something quite intricate, I have a really small pick, okay? Or that kind of thing, right? I want a small pick. But then, what if I'm going into strumming? I want to change it, so I want a little bit more pick showing. Okay, so the pick moves anyway, right? That's what it's supposed to do, unless you play with fingers. So it's kind of cool to play with fingers as well, right? Whatever, I don't even know what I'm playing now. So let's have a look. Any more questions? Let's have a look. Oh my God, exactly. It sounds good, but it just slips when I start sweating. My pick's medium sized, or are they variety? They're just kind of standard mediums, I guess. This jazz pick is an XL, but I've got, my fingers are, they're a bit fatter, I guess, than your average finger. But I say, a friend of mine, he's got really fat fingers and he uses super tiny picks. So it's just experiment, dudes. All right. And mess around with playing with fingers as well, or doing a bit of both. So often a little trick, right? What I just did there. So just going from a C, but what I'm doing, I'm holding the pick as normal, and I'm plucking the B string at the same time. So I'm picking the A, just got a C chord on here, and then. A little bit of both, right? All right. Or I've never actually played that with a pick in my life. Normally, using picking as well, so normally it'd be just fingers, right? If you don't know what that song is, it's Blackbird by Paul McCartney. And if you don't know it, you should learn it, guys, okay? It's really cool. Let's have a look. What else we got going on here? I keep on seeing them popping up. John, could you make a full lesson, All the King's Horses by Robert Plant? I can certainly have a look, my friend. I know it, but I don't know it well enough just to play it. Best to learn on acoustic or electric? Now, I get this question a lot, okay? Most guitar players out there, professional or semi-professional guitar players, if you ask them what did they learn on, majority of them, I should imagine, would say they learned on acoustic. I learned on the acoustic, however, I could not wait to get my hands on an electric guitar. They're two very different instruments. So start off with the acoustic, I think is vitally important because it will toughen your fingers up. Especially on like an old classical, it means you have to stretch your hands out. And then, you know, you come onto a steel string, it's going to toughen the fingers up, it's going to strengthen the fingers. And when you come onto the electric, it's a completely different beast, you know. Everything's amplified, the strings are thinner, everything's closer. It almost seems easier to play in the beginning. But, you know, as you progress, you realize it's just a different instrument. So there's no right or wrong. If you've got an acoustic at home, master making that sound cool. When you pick up the electric, it'll sound cool as well. Going the other way around, learning on electric first, it's a funny one because, you know, like I said, I started off on acoustic and went over to electric quite early on, probably sooner than I should have, but I always had the acoustic. And then you kind of go back to it and then you realize, you know, probably not a very good acoustic player. And to be an acoustic player is very important. You want to sound good on the acoustic, you know. And what I found myself doing is just playing the acoustic like that, and it doesn't sound actually that nice. So if you can make an acoustic sound really nice, it'll be really easy to do on the electric. The other way around might be a bit more difficult, but again, it's kind of what you're into. If you want to just play metal, get an electric, you know. If you're like, for me, I play a variety of stuff. It's never about one type of music. Yeah, I love metal, yeah, I love rock, I love blues, jazz, whatever. So it's just whatever I'm into at the time. That's why we have different guitars for different tones and different moods or whatever, okay? I make it look so easy. Well, that's very kind of you, dude, but I'm not doing anything very difficult at all, believe me. You know, there are a lot of 1,000,001 guitar players out there, and I kind of, you know, I write songs and stuff like that, and I just use the guitar to kind of help me. I've never really classed myself as a guitar player, you know, a guitarist, you know, that if you listen to my music, that's, you know, you'll know it's about melody, it's about rhythms and stuff like that, not just about guitar. So, but thank you anyway, dude. Okay, so, hey dude, an idea, what scale to play around for the song Sunshine of Your Live? I think Sunshine of Your Love, it's a misspell there. Let's have a quick look. Well, what you'll find is when you become more familiar with your scales, the whole riff is actually played within a scale. So when you got this, it's the pentatonic scale in the key of D. And look, the same key is... I can't even remember it. That's because... See what happens to my string? It's because it's hanging off. It's got like one wind on it down there. See, it's gone out of tune again. Live! See, that's what happens when you play live. Who is this guy? He's terrible. It's done it again. That's because my string is slipping off and I don't have a spare one. I'm not going to play Layla anymore, okay? So anyway, Sunshine of Your Love, it's in the key of D minor. So what that means is this note here is your first note for your minor pentatonic scale. So you must know the minor pentatonic. It will go 10, 13, 10, 13, what am I talking about? It's 10, yeah, it is 13. I'm losing the plot, man. It's too late, right? 10, 13, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 13, 10, 13. Got there in the end, right? Well, what Eric Clapton does, right? He kind of, instead of playing that standard pentatonic position, he kind of messes with it. He plays it like sliding. So he goes down to like the 5th position, then slides into the 1st. It sounds like B.B. King, right? Yeah, that kind of stuff. So mess around with the D minor pentatonic. It's also down here, where you know your roots, guys. Okay, it's very important. Know your root notes. So down there is D, up there is D, okay, and so on, all over the place. And you can mess around with that all day. There is a change, though, isn't there, in Sunshine and Love? Something like that, right? Goes to A. Yeah, something like that, right? But you get the idea. So when it changes to A, right? So then you could use an A minor pentatonic. Then back to D. And look, they live right next door to each other. So there's D. And there's A. Get the idea, right? So who else we got here? Let's have a look. So I'm scrolling through all this stuff here. Let's have a look. Ismail, coolest teacher around, for real, brother, for real. Could I do a lesson on some scales? I'm having a hard time learning the different ones. Right, well, for sure, man. I mean, don't get too wrapped up in scales, okay? Because they're not as important as people make them out to be. It's kind of like, just learn what you need to learn. There's 1,000,001 different scales, just like there's 1,000,001 different chords. But just learn the stuff you need to learn for now, okay? Just so you can enjoy what you're doing, all right? So, for example, going back to this cream, if you learn one scale in the key of D minor, okay, that scale position you learn, you can just move it anywhere around the fretboard then to whatever key you're in. So as a rule of finger, let's say, learn your notes on the bottom E string. So E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Learn all those notes so you know them super well. Use the dots as shortcuts. G, A, B, and so on, all right? So when you do that, your position, where you put your first finger, so say there's a song in the key of G, you know, if you put your first finger on that G note and play the minor pentatonic, it's going to work beautifully over that. Okay, and I'm just doing exactly the same what I would do up here in D. In key of A, same thing. So on, right? Okay. So yeah, just learn that one scale pattern. Start using it over different songs. More importantly than scales, you're using your ears. I'm always banging on about this stuff. You know, if you can hear the difference between a major and a minor on a track, then you can, you know, work out the key is the next thing. Then work out, you know, if it's minor, what position and how are you going to play over it. That's when things start getting really fun, you know, when you can play with other people and stuff. So yeah, work on just what you need to know. So if you're learning one song and it's in the key of A minor, just concentrate on learning the A minor pentatonic if you're playing rock, okay? If it's like classical, that kind of stuff, Then you can start looking at modes and things like that if you already know the pentatonics. If you do know the pentatonics, then you should know all 5 positions: sweeping position, sliding position. So, do you really know them? That's what you have to ask yourself. Probably, maybe a bit. Everyone can have more work. I still need more work on my pentatonics. For real, okay? So, yeah, and if it's classical stuff, then start looking into your modes and just think do, re, mi. Okay, and it's a little bit more complicated because pentatonic modes, pen means 5, so you got 5 notes, the 6th being the octave. In the diatonic scale, you got 8 including the octave, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 8, they're exactly the same, okay? So, hope that clears a few things up for you, bro. Let's have a look. What's going on? What are you guys talking about? I don't know. You're gonna have to rewind. Can I play Last Resort? Yeah. I've got 1,000,001 songs up here, guys. Now you're gonna have to. You're asking me to work something out live on YouTube and embarrass myself because I can't remember. Cut my life into pieces. No. Now, if my friend Dan is watching, he'd be like, "Dude, you taught me this last week. Why can't you play it?" I just can't remember. And what it is because all you guys are watching, I'm like, you know, I just cannot. My mind's gone completely blank. No, it's gone. Sorry. So, hey Ted, what's up? Great channel, John. Thank you very much, dudes. Do I have an Ibanez? The funny thing is, I don't. I have a Fender, I have a Jackson, and a Gibson, and a few others. When I went to buy the Gibson SG, which you see me use a lot because it's like my number 1, I was actually going to buy an Ibanez. And I tried it out, and then I saw this SG in the corner of my eye, and I thought I'll just try it as a comparison. And I love the sound of it so much. I walked out the shop after spending over £1,000 with this SG, and it's been with me ever since. It's kind of like finding the right woman. You just, you know, when it's right, it's right. Okay, acknowledge fitness. So I got some sort of fitness guru on here. What's up, dude? What about playing bass, assuming that's a totally separate instrument? Am I really going to play the bass now? I'm looking at my bass, it's hanging up next to me. No, I'm not going to play the bass. Think of the guitar, the bottom 4 strings. That's kind of your bass. They're tuned to the same notes, and the bass, you know, dare I say, it's primarily there to hold down the groove with the drummer, in my opinion, you know. However, when you're looking at bass players like Flea from the Chili Peppers, they kind of play lead bass, right? So the bass isn't, the old school bass players, right? They used to kind of, you know, just hang back. But then you look at, you know, John Paul Jones, all these kind of cool bass players, that they do a lot of different stuff. So Infectious Grooves, you listen to the bass player from Infectious Grooves and Suicidal Tendencies, right? You know who I'm talking about. Check out some of his bass stuff. It's kind of, yeah, it's a different instrument. It's kind of crazy. But if you can play guitar, let's be honest, you can work out how to play the bass, okay? Start with the guitar, dude. Will you ever do acoustic lesson on toxicity? Oh, man. Yeah, I'm sure I will. I think I did. How many requests do I get a day? Ridiculous amount. What did I do? I did aerials and I did chop suey. You know, the thing is, I don't think anyone's happy until I do the entire back catalogue of every band out there. But unfortunately, I just don't get the time, bro. If I had the time, I'd do it. It's on the list. I might do it one day. Just keep watching, bro. I appreciate your support, okay? Okay, Ted, what are you saying? So, if you like, can you answer a noob question? What happens when a tab has, for example, two identical numbers on a string beside each other? So 12 on B and 12 on G. How do I play that? Well, it's a very common question, my friend, because normally you see tabs, it kind of goes 12, 1, 6, 5, but then you have two next to each other. So, like you say, 12 on B and 12 on G would be like this. It would be like a double stop. So you play the two strings together, my friend, okay? So I'm using one finger to cover the 12 on G and the 12 on B, and so that's how it would sound, okay? And that's how you read it. So whenever you see tab numbers vertical, excuse me, I've just been eating pizza and fizzy stuff. Whenever you see tab numbers vertical, usually they represent chords, okay? That's why tabs can be a bit difficult to read sometimes. So, for example, an E chord, the tab would be in a line, bottom line to top, it would be 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. Make sense? Hope that helped, bro. Okay. Can I do badass riffs? Eastern tutorial, please. Will make me happy. Eastern tutorial? I like Middle Eastern or what, dude? I don't know. Badass riffs? I'm not sure what you call as a class as a badass riff, but everyone knows that, right? If you don't, you should. Okay, let's have a look. Just buy your finger over those if you want to use two fingers, or if it's a bend. I'm not sure if you're talking to me or replying to someone else. Play House of the Rising Sun, bro. Oh man, old school, bro. How bad is that? And I used to play this when I was like 13 or something. Yeah, come on, you know that already. You don't need me to make it sound terrible. Okay? Yeah, it's kind of that arpeggio is a bit funny. That kind of stuff, right? Just practice it, dudes. Okay. Tips for transitioning from acoustic to electric, please. The best tip I can give you, man, is just do it. Just get on with it, because you know what? What's good for me might not necessarily be good for you. It's kind of like, it's a discovery, yeah? It's like self-discovery. It's kind of like, that's why we're all slightly different as guitar players, because we all learn slightly differently. So my tip would be play loud, okay? And seriously, not just to piss off your parents. It's kind of, or that's if you know, if you're living with your parents, you might be like some guy in his 50s. Yeah, so play it loud, and what that allows you to do is kind of control it. And you see what I do when it gets a bit loud? I dampen the strings. Otherwise, they're just going on and it just sounds terrible. So if you learn to play the amp loud and even feeding back, you'll learn how to control, you'll learn how to kind of tame that guitar. Because the acoustic won't do that. The acoustic rings out for a bit, then it dies. But the electric, especially when you play live, it'll just go on and on forever if you let it. So learn to tame that. Play it loud and learn to tame it down. Okay, dude? So that's a little tip for going over to the electric, but enjoy it. Don't break strings like I've been breaking strings because I play too hard. Because, you know, sometimes I'm just impatient when I'm trying to work stuff out. And yeah, believe it or not, I'm impatient just like you guys and get frustrated. So everyone gets frustrated on all levels. Doesn't matter what level you are. It's just, you know, you learn to deal with it differently as you get older. Okay, grab a piece of paper and write down the King's Horse Man You Will Forget is a great lesson. Well, okay, dude. This is being recorded, so I don't need to write it down. I'll remember, bro. I just look back, okay? Okay. So, Uganda Knuckles, show me the way. Dude, if you're gonna go into electric, get 10 strings. When I changed, I went to 9s, and it's just uncomfortable. Well, in my case, again, with the Fender, I run 9s. With the Jackson, I run 9s. With the Gibson, the SG, I run 10s because it's what suits the guitar really, and I like that slinky feel. Like that, sometimes that's why I play a lot in E flat. kind of like that laid, slinky feel, you know. And you lose a bit of sustain. That's the thing about using lighter gauges. You lose a little bit of sustain. That's why you got to make up for them in gain. All right. On the SG, 9s would be too light. That's why I use 10s. I sometimes actually go heavier than 10s. So, yeah, man. Believe me. Thanks for the tip, though. By the way, it's kind of stuff you work out as you go, especially playing different guitars. On my on my acoustic at the moment, I'm using 12s. Which are actually light for an acoustic. So, horses for courses, bro. What's whatever you're used to, right? And the reason I keep breaking them is probably because I'm practicing at home, not loud enough. So I'm hitting that's another thing, all right? When you're playing loud, you're gonna have softer attack on the guitar. You want the amp to do the work. Whereas acoustic is the opposite, right? You want to hit it really hard to get that attack. On the electric, you don't have to do that. You just have more gain, okay? So if you're playing at low volume, you're more likely to break strings, all right? So that's what happened to me today. Dude, who's this asking me about Gary Moore? I think you always come on and ask me Gary Moore, man. Probably always do that, right? Just to keep you quiet. All right, I'll do a lesson on Parisian walkways, okay, at some point. Well, in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get one of my students that I've been teaching to sit next to me and play Parisian walkways for you guys, all right? Because he's a dude and he's a noob as well, all right? I'll show you how easy it is. Well, kind of. Let's have a look. Who's asking me to check out their channel? Yeah, put me a link below and I will check out your channel, okay, dude? For sure. Hey, man, glad to be here. Thank you for doing these things. My absolute pleasure, my friend. And that was Jackson, I think. Okay, let's have a look. I'm just scrolling through here, guys. So, I don't know how many. Isn't that weird? I tap this screen and it goes out of focus. Google will tell you the pentatonic scale. Yeah, okay. I see you talking to everyone else. What's this? 5/8, 5/7, 5/7, 5/7. Yeah, okay. So you can look at it as a different way as well. You could look at it like big stretch, small stretch, big stretch, big stretch. So the problem with trying to memorize numbers 5/8, 5/8, 5/8 is like when things get more complicated. For example, if you're moving from position 1 into position 3, it's like numbers. But if you remember the small stretch, big stretch, small stretch, they're going to be a lot easier to work out, okay? So it's all about visualizing how the scales sit on the fretboard. It's kind of like, you know, I visualize the shapes. I don't think in notes, I don't think in numbers. It's always in shapes. And you train your fingers to find those shapes. And you don't have to think about anything. Then you can just play. Okay, so let's have a look. Hey Leah, love your channel. You're one of my favorite guitar learning channels. Thank you so much. As I'm a beginner, I find your videos very helpful and I've learned a lot from you. Thank you for that. Rock on. Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. And as you all know, well, you should all know by now, the reason I set up this channel was actually for my students. So they had something to reference back on the videos, and when other people started watching them, I just decided to continue and help other people out, all right? Because I never had lessons when I was a kid, so I'm really happy that you get something out of it, okay? So really, really appreciate that. So I'm just going to scroll through these as quick as I can because I think time's getting on now, okay? Let's have a look. Let's go through. Oh, I have a Yamaha Pacifica. Yeah, one of my students has the same guitar. It's like a Strat, yeah. I use 10s to rise up the action a bit. Yeah, that's what I said earlier, 10s, 9. I just don't like the 9s. Yeah, man, that's all good. It's all gravy. Are you able to play Oasis, Don't Look Back in Anger? Yeah, if I could remember the chords, bro. It's like, I know it's a super simple song because I played it God knows how many times live, but you know, I can't think of them off the top of my head. My tabs are actually on my phone that I'm filming on, so for me to go away. And I tell you why I don't retain all these songs, because when I go out and play live, you know, I might play 60 songs in a set, you know, so it's kind of like not all those songs I'll be in love with, because kind of, you know, you're in the entertainment business, that you're there to entertain, so it's not always about me, it's about other people having a good time and stuff. But the downside to that is I rarely retain these songs because my mind is too busy in, you know, in the stuff I want to do and the stuff I'm trying to create. So my apologies for that, dude, okay? So, let me see if I can rustle up a little intro riff here. Let me see if I can remember something. I was messing around with something earlier. This kind of... I'm trying to remember this. Why do I remember the complicated bit and I don't remember the simple bit? So it's not very good because I can't remember the beginning. Yeah. So this is kind of a little riff in E minor. And I did Boom Boom the other day. That kind of stuff. And I get, this is like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Oh, I just can't remember the beginning. My mind's gone blank because I'm live. Remember this chord. So I'll show you the chords, right? Okay, so we've got this It's E minor 7, right? So it's like a 1, 4, 5 in a key of C. I'll show you the riffs in a sec. So it's kind of like just a rhythm section. I'm not going to show you the licks because, as you might realise, I'm rusty as hell and I haven't rehearsed for this, which I really should have. It's totally unprofessional, but hey. So we got this E7, all right? So like a normal E, take away the third finger and then put your pinky on the B string in the 3rd fret. So the rhythm is kind of like, hit that bottom E, boom, down, 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 down. So I promise I'll do a video on this perhaps next week properly when I've practiced it. So, yeah. Then we'll go to A7. And you can put the pinky on the top E, the 3rd fret if you like, okay, which is G. Back to E7. B7, you don't know that chord, 1st finger, 1st fret on the D string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret on the A, 3rd finger, 2nd fret on the G, the 3rd finger, the 3rd string rather, and the pinky on the top E in the 2nd fret. Okay. Back to A. So, if we put it all together. So there you have it, dudes. All right. So something to mess around with. And, you know, like I said, I'll probably do a lesson on that, Stevie Ray, next week. So keep an eye out for it. All right. And I can see you guys are asking me for all sorts of stuff now. So, who's this? I'll get the vicar to do harmonies with Frizzy Morquays. That's my student, okay? So if that's you, dude, I'm not going to mention your name. You're coming on with me live for that, yeah? I love it, I love it, I love it, okay. So, yeah, well, I'll tell you about my student, actually. And one of my proudest moments of him, we learned the solo to Hotel California, and you know, I said, go away and practice it, like I do with all my students. Go away and practice it, whatever. And they never do. And kind of, you know, I was teaching their 2 like close buddies, and I come back the following week and I said, you know, did you practice? And he's like, yeah. And I said, okay, show me. And yeah, like I can remember. And he played it all the way through, like seamlessly. And I was just like, dude, you're like, I was just like, I think myself and his buddy, we were both like, that was friggin' cool, man. So yeah, big respect to Kerem. Yeah, I'm gonna say your name. So Kerem, big respect, bro. And he knows I respect him big time. And so anyway, yeah. So Karen, get out here with me and play some stuff, okay? And join a band for Christ's sake or something. So what song is this? Well, I was actually playing the chords to Mary Had a Little Lamb by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Badly, okay, because I can't remember. As that, you hear that from me a lot because the problem is, I can remember 1,001 things, but as soon as I see that little live thing, I'm like, I can't remember anything. It's like when someone says, play us a song. I'm like, I don't know any songs. So, can I play some Slipknot? Of course, but not right now, okay? I'm playing lots of Slipknot, but, that's for another lesson, okay? So listen, guys, really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here on a Friday night. And thank you very much for subscribing to my channel and following me on Instagram and sending me really nice messages on Facebook and all the rest of it. And I super appreciate it, okay? And keep the requests coming in. Like I said before, I wish I could do them all. I just really don't get a chance to do them all. So I'm kind of, I'm not going to tell you how I pick them, but they're always from requests, okay? That's all you need to know. Very rarely do I pick anything that I want to do. So maybe I will do in the future, but you guys are going to be learning, like crazy jazz stuff if that happens, all right? You don't want to turn into jazz players. I don't want to turn into a jazz player. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll see you sometime next week.